Hey everyone, it's John here for Amino Wellness with a new video for you. Today I wanted to do a rant because there's a topic I really want to talk about. So a Facebook friend of mine, who I went to high school and elementary school with, actually posted a status tonight talking about carbs and about someone who says they do not eat carbs at all anymore. And this really just pisses the flippin' F out of me, and I'm sorry that I have to be swearing, but I am so irritated and bothered by this. Because people that walk around saying they don't eat carbs, or they've stopped eating carbs, or carbs are the bloody enemy, need to get themselves a bloody effing life. First off, they need a proper nutrition education, because they clearly don't know what a carb is, nor what it does for your body. The fact that it gives you life, okay? Carbs in its essential basic form are glucose. And glucose is essentially sugar or starch which converts into sugar. Okay? We need carbs. As much as they think carbs are what causes diabetes, it's not. Okay? Diabetes is a disease that affects the pancreas. It does not affect carbs and the fact that we ate too many carbs. It's the fact that our body and our pancreas especially is not able to connect these carbs through the cells to insulin to complete the process. Or the pancreas, like in type 1 diabetes, doesn't make any insulin. So you've got too much glucose in there. Okay? It's a totally different thing. The fact that everyone seems to think carbs are the enemy, they're not. That's not the problem. Okay? The key in this situation is this person in this, which my Facebook friend is referring to, probably doesn't realize what an actual carb is. Most people, and this is a weird thing, I'm a part of a Biggest Loser team, as you've seen in my Proud to Love video, and I'm proud to love them. At the end of our last session in spring, I did a questionnaire about nutrition, and I wanted to see what things people liked about the nutrition challenge I ran was and what they wanted to change. One of the things I did as a little test, and I don't think they even realized it, is I asked them a question. What to you is a carbohydrate? And when I scanned through all the surveys on the page, I got so many different answers, okay, of what people thought a carbohydrate was. But a lot of the people seem to think it's bread and pasta. And there's some that did actually say fruit, which is right. But the fact is, the majority of people, when they hear carbs, they think of cupcakes, they think of chocolate bars, they think of anything pastry-like or sugary-like. But they don't realize that fruit is a carb, that vegetables are carbs, that dairy is a carb, that practically anything you have that has carbohydrates in it is a carb. Yes, even salad dressing can be known as a carb because there are carbohydrates in the dressing. Okay? There is sugar in a lot of those. Even if it's just 1 inch of a teaspoon, that's a carb. Carbs are everywhere and they're around us. Anything that is sugar or may convert into sugar is a carb. Fiber is a form of a carb. It's a non-digestible type of carb, but it's still considered a carbohydrate. We just don't count it in the net carbs. And the fact is, if you've had a glass of milk, to this person, I don't know who this person is, but I've had people that say, oh, I don't do carbs. If you stop taking out bread or wheat or gluten out of your diet as a whole, okay, but you do everything else, you eat everything else, then you cannot by any means say you've cut carbs. That is a blatant lie, and what it shows is your not stupidity, your ignorance. It's not stupid because you haven't been taught. It's ignorance because you haven't been properly educated on what a carbohydrate is. And the fact is, a lot of these people boast, they say it like it's a good thing, like, oh, yeah, I don't do wheat anymore, and I don't do carbs, and like I'm a size 00. I've lost like 87.365, 2 pounds, and it's like, oh, I feel so great. Like, seriously, get a life. First off, you're too perky. And it's not because you cut out the carbs. There has been some talk about whether cutting wheat or gluten out. And yeah, it can maybe help you feel better. But nutritionally value speaking, having whole grains in your body is a good thing. The fact is getting the stuff that is not processed. Okay. I personally like wheat and gluten, and I have it in my diet. I am not celiac. Okay. Now, if I'm celiac, I have to cut the gluten out because it's celiac disease. You have to go gluten free. And a lot of people are on this trend fad that, oh, gluten free is the hottest thing. For weight loss, if you're not celiac, have the damn bread, honey. Because a lot of the good quality sprouted whole grains or sprouted grains that have a good fiber and protein source in them, like Silver Hills, they're good for you. They keep you full longer. They provide you with nutrients and all kinds of vitamins and minerals your body needs. Yes! Dairy. A lot of starchy vegetables. Those are carbohydrates. Potatoes, carrots, peas, corn, squashes. Those are all starchy vegetables. They have carbs. Okay? So you can't realistically say you've gone carb-free unless you've stopped eating altogether. Or all you eat is vegetable oil. And that's just gross if you do that. If you seriously do that and all you do is drink water and eat vegetable oil, then honey, I'm surprised you're still alive. I'm surprised you have not passed out on the floor and died yet. But it just boggles my mind that people seem to think it's the root of all evil. Now, I personally have cut out rice. I know I'm going to get flack from a lot of people. But you say don't cut out everything. But the fact is, I'm diabetic. Now, as a diabetic, I have to look at what foods impact my blood sugar in a good way and what foods impact it in a bad way. And I have learned that even a cup of rice, even with a proper balanced meal, does affect my blood sugar in a negative way. Now, it may not do that to another diabetic, but it does that to me. So for me to maintain my good blood sugars, I limit the amount of rice that I have. I do have orzo pasta on a rare occasion when I want it, but I find that on top of that, rice does not present enough nutritional benefits. Even the brown rice has very little extra fiber than the white rice. And a lot of the processed white stuff doesn't work for me. I would rather have a higher fiber pasta that has more nutrients than a rice, because I find pasta doesn't affect my blood sugar as much, especially when put into a balanced meal. So I'm that kind of person. But other than that, I enjoy carbohydrates. My milk, my fruit, my veggies, my everything. And the fact is, realistically, anyone that says that they just need an education. I ride transit. That's how I get around. And I'm sick and tired of sitting there listening to these people sound like it's a great thing. Carbs are not the enemy, people. Wake the bleep up and smell the realm of healthy eating. You can eat a balanced meal by incorporating dairy products, okay? By incorporating fruits and vegetables and whole grains and lean meats and the occasional treats and snacks, It's all about creating a great sense of what it is. And the key thing here when it comes to carbs, I have to mention this. There are good carbs and there are bad carbs. Good carbs, we love to call them complex carbs. Whole grains, fruits and vegetables, and dairy products. Okay? Bad carbs, cupcakes, cheesecake, brownies, double fudge cookies that are triple dipped in sugar. Okay? Those we like to call simple carbohydrates because it is pure sugar and saturated and trans fats. It's disgusting and you probably shouldn't be eating those in the first place. I'll admit I eat a fair share amount of those as well. Okay? But it's a balance. The odd simple carbohydrate in your diet is not going to kill you. Okay? But cutting every single bit of carb out in your entire life, not healthy. So stick to a majority of complex carbohydrates. Your body will thank you. The key thing here is to enjoy carbohydrates and to know which ones are good for your body and to eat a lot of those most often. So live well and enjoy the wellness. I'm Amino Wellness, and thanks for listening to my rant. Have a great night.